Okay, good morning everyone. Agun Erev Shabbos. We're continuing in Mishna Berura, Daf Hashavua. We're learning Siman Nun Hey, Sif Dalid, and Be'ezus Hashem, part of Sif Hey. Yesh Matirin Laimar Davar Shebekdusha Besisha V'Tzerev Katan. Some allow the recitation of Davar Shebekdusha if you have 9 and you join a Katan, and you join in a Katan, Shu Yotzim Ben Sheish, who's older than 6, and he knows who you're davening to. There is such an opinion. Who? Taisvis in the name of Rabbeinu Tam, Daf Memches, and the name of Rav Haigoin and the Raza. However, Velinira, in my opinion, Veloy Nirin, Devam L'Gdayla Poskim. Gdayla Poskim do not accept this view. Who are these Gedolei Poskim? The Rash, the Ri, the Mordechai, the name of Ravya, the Agos Maimonides, the Smag, the name of Rabbeinu Yoina, and the Chuvas Haraja, the name of the Ravid, and the Rambam. They don't accept this. But there is such a Yesh Matiran. Actually, my grandparents, when they moved to Flatbush, they moved to a block, Avenue Ellen East 9th, and on the corner is one of the most well-known Minyin factories in the whole world. And that's now was a Minyin factory. Back then, they couldn't even make a Minyin on Shabbos. So the Rebbe, I would ask my uncle, who are you davening to? And he would point up to the Shemayim, and he would be mitzvah him to a Minyin. Okay, this is in the shul, which is today, Kemat, one of the biggest Minyin factories in the world. Back then, they couldn't even get a Minyin on Shabbos. Anyway, but l'maisa lahalacha, it doesn't sound like it's what we call normative halacha. V'uadin de eved v'ishin mitzdarfen. You can't bring in an eved. You can't bring in an isha. They won't join in. They won't be mitzdarf. Hagav afil alidei chumash shabiyada mitzdarfen. Even if he's holding a chumash, even if it's the stone chumash, even if it's an art scroll, it's still you can't be mitzdarfen. Miu yesh nagin lahakal b'shas hadchak. However, with the chumash, the minhag is for some to be makel in a pressing circumstance. Says the Mishna Berura, Ayidei Chumash. Why? Just because he's holding a Chumash, that's not going to make him a man. But some rely on it, b'shas hadchak. Right, so afilu b'li Chumash. Not like we read it, not like I read it. Some are makel even without a Chumash. Uchedas ha'ish matirin hana, like the opinion of the Yish Matirin. V'davke echad, only one. V'loy shnayim. U'v'levush kasav shloi ra noigin l'tzarf afilu b'shas hadchak. Levush says that he hasn't seen that it's relied on even b'shas hadchak. Uvizmanenu noyagim l'tzarif katan al yidei chumash shabiyadai. Bizman hazeh, the minhag is to mitzarf a katan through a chumash. By the way, it's good to know. You know, you're in a shul. They have a minyan every day. It's not easy to get together a minyan. If you one day don't have a minyan, then people are going to say, well, I'll go somewhere else. You know, the whole nisparda chavila sounds like b'shas hadchak. You could rely on this kula of a katan over 6 holding a chumash. That's what the Mishna Berura concludes. At least he says that's the minhag. Umiu davka l'shmaya barchu v'kadesh shu chiyuv aval kadesh she'achar aleinu lo yomru. What kind of chumashes? Says Rav Moshe, we're not talking about a printed chumash. We're talking about a chumash on klaf, not a chumash. Chumash on klaf. Bizman hazeh we don't have chumashim on klaf. You need to give him a Sefer Torah, even a puzzle Sefer Torah. Oh, it's interesting to know. Say, let's say a shul, they have in the Aron some good Sfarim, and Psulei Sefer Torah. They say, what do I need this for? Just in case. Uvishas Kriya Shema Utfilah Shemona Esrei. So what are you supposed to do? Now it sounds like he's got to be holding it the whole time. You hear this? This katan. Now a 6-year-old. Not going to be so easy for him to hold a Sefer Torah. I wonder, could he hold a klaf of a Navi? Sounds like that's not a chumash. That's not what it says. Anyway, so Rav Moshe says that you put the Sefer Torah on the table, and the Katan should hold the Atzei Chayim during the Shemoneh Esrei. Very interesting. Says Rav Moshe, for Shemoneh Esrei, when the Katan is mashlam the Minyin, the Shliach Tzibur should not daven a silent Shemoneh Esrei. He should wait for the Tzibur to finish their silent Shemoneh Esrei, and then daven out loud. Why? Because if he's going to daven belachash, according to the opinion that a Katan is not mitzaref, it's going to be a bracha of Atala, says Rav Moshe. So it's very nice, Yesh Matirin. So that's Yesh Matirin that everyone else can answer Amen. Okay, so big deal. So, so it's not a minyan. So you said the word Amen. You're still verifying the bracha, but to say a bracha of Atala based on the Yesh Matirin, you can't do that. What about Kriyas HaTorah? The Shevet HaLevi says, since this is a very questionable leniency, and Gedolei Hara Lo Noyach Lahem Klal, they're not very pleased with this. So even B'Shas HaDchak, only follow what the minog is. For example, for davening, not Kriyas HaTorah. We never heard such a minog that you could rely on a katan for Kriyas HaTorah. But Rav Moshe says, ain't no chiluk. What about to make a bracha? Let's say you want to get called up for an aliyah. Misha Berachs we know you can make, you can make Misha Berachs. But what about making a bracha? Would Rav Moshe's logic that the chazan should not say the Sar Shemoneh Esrei apply to making a bracha ala Torah? I don't know. Doesn't say it. Okay, very interesting. Weiter. So the Mishna Berura started off by saying Bizmanenu noyagim letzarif katan. V'harbe achronim machmirim shaloi letzarif shum katan fil b'shas hadchak. Many achronim are machmir, not even to rely on it b'shas hadchak. What if you're going to lose the minyan? Says Rav Shlomo Zalman, that's what the Mishna Berura is talking about. That's the shas hadchak we're talking about. And the Mishna Berura says many achronim are machmir. Again, the Mishna Berura said earlier, Noya again, that we do. Many years ago, when they gave the Katan the Seif Torah. What?
I was once in a Minyin, many years ago, and they gave the Katan the Seif Torah.
Right, wow. Look, nowadays, people live in very developed communities, but I've been in... I was a Rav once in a place where there were times that getting a minyan was very difficult. People used to joke with me. There was a bus stop, and I would randomly ask people if they're Jewish, and they would say, yeah, I would schlep the guy in. People would ask me if I was Megayer them on the way down into the shul. One time there was somebody who was, he was a... African American, and I still asked, and he rather was Jewish. he was. Anyway, that's the story.
There was a casino road.
What?
There was a casino across the road from the shul, and the Rav would go into the casino and pull out the Yiddish guys.
Oh yeah, that's the best place. Okay, so oinein eino mitzaref laminyan. An oinein is not mitzaref. V'hainu kol oinein shechayv l'sabel olav. Afilu muto olav l'kavrei. That's any oinein that has to mourn for a mess, even though it's not his responsibility to bury the mess. Let's see, he's not an heir. You can't join him in. Even if he has a Chevra Kadisha. Oh, actually, even if he has people to help him. Unless he gave it to the people carrying it on the shoulders. So I wonder if Bizman Hazeh, where there's a Chevra Kadisha, whether an oinei is mitzaref to a minyan. I thought we said that even though Bizman Hazeh there's a Chevra Kadisha, Lamaisa, it's on the mind of the oinein, whatever, there are other responsibilities besides burial, let's say hesped, the whole arrangements. I thought oinein is pater. They have a shaila. Let's say an oinein, let's say someone's an oinein, and now he's on the plane. So is he chayiv or pater mitzvahs? Well, you should say, well, why would he pater mitzvahs? Well, he can't do any kvura on the plane. But I would have thought, but he's still busy being oisek in hachanas, hesped, and so forth. I would think he's still pater. Okay, when we get to Siman Ayin Aleph, the mace is in another city, and you found out before the burial of Yesha Mishishtad and you have someone to help you out. Shadinoi, the dinish Ratza Likrois Rashai, that if you want to say Shema, you're allowed to vein Moichem Yada, who would start with Minyin, he would join in a Minyin. The Dirshu brings from the Sefer Oirach Ne'eman that on Shabbos an Oinein is mitzdarv to a Minyin. Umiyu kozel in Oinein avel ba'avel v'adim mitzarech l'berachas mazon l'tfila, an avel definitely is mitzdarv. Weiter, Sifhei, im lo hevi shtei sarais. A Katan who did not bring 2 hairs, afilu hu gadol b'shanim, even if he's 14 years old, dinoi k'Katan, ad sheyitzu roiv shnoisav, until the majority of his years have passed. Sha'az yisbar shusris. Then we know the person he's impotent and he's not a katan. If we see signs of being a sris before, the din is like a gadol. Now this is a very surprising halacha, because the mechaber seems to be saying you need shtei saris for a minyan. L'chayra, we would rely on chazaka derava, that once 13 years come, we could assume he has 2 hairs. Hago mi'ein medaktim b'saris elakoshi gel eklau shnoisav machzikin oisay kegadol. The Rama says, like we just mentioned, we don't really pay attention to the hairs. Once he reaches 13 years old, we consider him a gadol. V'oimrim le'inyan zeh mistama hevi shtei saris, and we say he probably brought the 2 hairs. A little bit more in the Mishna Berura. Shtei saris b'shar mekomis haguf. Other places on the body, meaning he doesn't have to. It doesn't dafka have to be makam erva. Afilu hevi shtei saras bezakan, even if it's 2 hairs on the beard. The Dirsha points out that later on, Siv Katan Lametes, the Mishna Berura says, look in Even HaEzer, and there the Shulchan Aruch passes like the Rambam that it has to be makam erva. And the other shita he only brings as a yesh omer. But here the Mishna Berura is coming out that the 2 hairs could be anywhere. Dinoi k'Katan. V'mhevi shtei saras, a kid who brings 2 hairs, nasa gadol miyam shehevi. He becomes a gadol from the day that he brought the hairs. Loy l'mafreya, not retroactively. Roiv shenoisav. V'loy ba'inon rak yoim echad yoyser alamet heishana. We don't need. All we need is just 1 day more than 35 years. Can you imagine this? If somebody doesn't bring 2 hairs according to the Mechaber, then you could join him up in a minyan when he reaches 35 years old. The guy could drink alcohol, he could drive a car, he can't be part of a minyan. Sha'az yizbar, right? When he reaches 35, it becomes clear. This is interesting. When someone brings 2 hairs, you do not retroactively become a gada. When someone does not bring 2 hairs, and they reach 35, and it shows there is sris, then they do become retroactively a gadol. Siman sris mavar be'aman ezer b'sim kavayin beisav heva. Afilu echad min hasimanim neskam shamahani la'ashvei seila sris. Even one of the signs would help to render him a sris. Im lo hevi shtei sa'arais gam bezakan. Unless he brings 2 hairs on the beard, then you're going to need more siman sris kamavar b'hagasham. Okay, we're going to hold it over here. We'll pick it up on Monday, regular time, regular schedule. Bez Hashem next week. Okay, we'll be with Kasher. Kol tov, everyone. Hatzlacha Rabbah.
What's the lumdus of the holding a chumash? Is it like a mystical thing? He now becomes the gadol? What does that mean exactly?
Good question. I don't know.
Very interestingly, in my brother's shul, they had a minute to put the Seif Torah away before they started bombing the chassid with the bags. And my brother was bothered by it because it's always been the minhag of Klal Yisrael for years and years and years that they used to throw the bags before they put the Seif Torah away. And he found him a car, I forgot where he told me, some Hasidic Sefer. And the reason why you're supposed to throw the bags while the Seif Torah is out is that he should be holding on to the Atei Chaim, understanding that that's the only place that he's been saved in life, is just holding on to the Torah. So I don't know, just thought it was interesting.
Very good. Yeah. Okay, Hatzlach everyone. Good Shabbos. Shabbos.